Hello, and welcome to this short tutorial on the basic use of Arps' Sentry Toolkit in TradeStation's RadarScreen. The Sentry Toolkit is a basket of tools which are invaluable for the trader who wants to scan and monitor a universe of symbols for powerful and specific setups using some of Arps' best technical analysis tools. The scanning tools in this toolkit are all preceded by the prefix TTB in order to differentiate them from the charting versions of these tools, which are also included in the Sentry Toolkit. The TTB tools can be used in the TradeStation scanner as well as in the RadarScreen. We will discuss their use with the scanner in a different video. We will also go over the specific tools in the Sentry Toolkit and their specific attributes in other videos. This presentation will simply cover the basics of how to apply these tools to a TradeStation RadarScreen and sort the data which they produce. To get started exploring the toolkit, let's assume you already have a list of stocks, futures, or forex symbols which you want to monitor for trading opportunities using these tools in TradeStation's RadarScreen. Okay, let's get right to it. Let's open up a RadarScreen on TradeStation, and I happen to have on my clipboard a series of symbols which I will paste into the symbol column, and voila! TradeStation gives us a beautiful grid with a lot of data on it. Unfortunately, I would rather see how some of my favorite indicators look on this grid. So what I'm going to do is come up here to Insert Indicator, and when the drop-down menu shows itself, for the ease of showing this example, I'm going to remove all of these indications that TradeStation has given me, and I'm going to look for my favorite RadarScreen tools provided by Arps Trader's Toolbox, all of which are preceded by the prefix TTB. Here we have them, and let's put the flags. I'll highlight the flags, and then if I push Control as I'm scrolling, I can click other tools, Triple Trender 4 and Trend Exhaustion 2. That's a good start. Let's add those to our list over here on the right. Now, assuming I've just received these tools, I need to put my personal password, whether it's temporary or permanent, into these tools. So I will highlight one of these tools, and I click on the Format button here, and it brings me to the Inputs section of each of these tools. And here in the password line, I will enter my password. And if I click on Default, then I will never have to enter my password again. So I say OK. Okay, I've entered my passwords, and let's click on OK. And you can see that these indicators have come up on my radar screen. I don't know about you, my eyes are getting a little bit old, and I would like my radar screen to show bigger numbers. So I'm going to come up here to Format, Page, and here in the font column I'm going to ask the grid values to be, well, let's say 10 and bold, and have the headings be 12 and bold. Hopefully this will make it a little easier for me to see. Yeah, that looks good. So how would we sort this information to be most useful in order to find the best probabilistic setups using these Arps tools? Well, we can manually sort all of the information on any particular column by simply double-clicking on the heading of that column. Let's click on the bars ago column of the Trend Exhaustion tool to find the stocks and commodities that have most recently shown a signal from the Trend Exhaustion tool. As you can see, this column is now sorted with the most recent occurrences on the top. This 1 indicates that there was a trend exhaustion 1 signal 1 bar ago. The green color in the cell indicates that the signal was a bullish signal, and the red color in this cell indicates that that trend exhaustion signal was a bearish signal. In the column next to the bars ago, you see percent change. This tells you how much the price has moved with you or against you since the signal was indicated. You can also have the radar screen automatically keep your grid sorted by coming to the Format tab, clicking on Sort. And here you have the option of which column to sort by. If we want to keep our grid sorted by the trend exhaustion 1 bars ago column, highlight this here, bars ago, TTB, trend exhaustion 1. And we can subsort on, let's say, the score of the triple trender. You can notice you can also sort by alerts, and all of these scan sentry tools are programmed with alerts. And you can click on this Keep Data Sorted by these criteria in order to keep your radar screen grid sorted. All of the tools in the Scan Sentry Toolkit are configured to send alerts if you want whenever the signal is fired. If you're interested in one particular symbol within a given tool, for instance in this flags tool, we can see that CHLN has set up a flag pattern. If you're interested in knowing when it breaks out, you can click and format TTB flags for CHLN. And when it brings you to the Alerts tab, you can enable Alert and have it alert you continuously, and use the global messaging preferences, which you can configure to include or not audible, pop-up, and email alerts. If you're interested in configuring the entire array of symbols in a given tool, you can click anywhere on any column in that tool, and where it says Format TTB for all symbols, you click and brings you to the Alerts tab. And when you enable alerts there, you probably want to use None as your setting of choice in order to avoid an avalanche of alerts every time the bar changes. As we noted in the previous chapter, the TradeStation RadarScreen will sort your signals by alerts if they fire. As you can see, once I have configured my alerts, every cell in the rightmost column of the tool shows a little blue triangle. That indicates that an alert has been set. Even on the flags one here, you can see there's one triangle in that one and none in the others, indicating that an alert is set for CHLN, not for the others. When an alert is fired in the radar screen, it is indicated by a little vertical yellow bar on the right-hand side of the right-handmost column. That vertical yellow bar will turn magenta on subsequent bars and only remain yellow on the bar on which it was fired. So let's see if we can use some of these tools to find a tradable setup. A well-established maxim among traders is trade with the trend. But you never quite know you are in a trend until you see it in retrospect. Without going into too much detail on the specifics of these tools on this video presentation, suffice it to say that the TTB triple trender helps you to identify when the short-term, the medium-term, and the long-term trends are all in agreement. When this occurs on the long side, the TTB triple trender calculates a score of 6 for the symbol. The reciprocal short signal would have a score of -6. When the score of a symbol changes upward, the TTB plots a green number on a black background. Whenever a score changes downward, a red number is plotted on the black background in the score column. The final confirmation of the beginning of a trend would be when the long-term trender changes from bearish to bullish. The non-score numbers plotted by the TTB triple trender indicate how many bars ago such a trend flip occurred. Therefore, I want to find a stock with a green 6 in the score column and a 0 or a 1 in the long-term trender column. To accomplish this, I will double-click on the score column twice in order to sort with the highest numbers on the top. This gives me a list of 6s, with several of them on a black background which, you might remember, represents a score change on the most recent bar. Now, I examine those symbols to see if any of them were recent trender flips in the long-term column. I see here that the symbol EPD shows just such a scenario, and the Trend Exhaustion 1 indicator gives me confirmation in that it showed a bullish signal just 4 bars ago and has moved 2.02% in my direction, leading me to believe I might have a little wind in my sails to take a long position on this stock. So, how do we take a look at a chart of EPD from the radar screen? First, I will minimize my radar screen and bring up a random chart with the triple trender already applied. In order to link the chart to the radar screen, I click this gray S, and I'm going to give us a green local symbol link. The local link means it's only on this workspace. So if I do the same for the chart window, I have now linked my symbols on my radar screen and my chart. So if I click on EPD, you can see the EPD chart comes up. Indeed, this stock recently shows a confirmed bullish trend with all 3 trenders bullish. I hope this helps you understand a little bit about how to load and configure your Sentry tools on a radar screen. We'll go over the specific tools in a future video. For more information on the Sentry Toolkit or any of Jan Arps's world-renowned tools, please go to our website at www.janarps.com, where you will find some of the finest and most highly regarded technical analysis tools in the industry. These are serious tools for serious traders. Thank you for your time and interest in Jan Arps's tools. We sincerely hope they help in your efforts toward consistent profits in today's rapidly changing markets. May the trend be at your back.